Yeah, look at this.
My wife and I, Sam, who's the singer of the band, we were driving to a hike one day, and she turned to me and said, we need to start a band. And then at the same time, Ben and Sam were just playing acoustic songs in the kitchen.
Modern Refuge needed a fill-in bass player for a few shows, and we played, and it was just awesome. We just clicked like pretty much the first time. It was incredible.
So it all kind of came together pretty organically. Everyone was on the same page, and it's just really taken off since then.
You know, it started just in a kitchen with us just like playing some acoustic covers, and then it just became an entirely different thing. It's been a pretty wild ride since then.
Modern Refuge is the first band that I've officially been into. So that's the first time I stepped into my professional career with singing, and it's been great. I have been singing forever unprofessionally. So I think just from when I was a small child, I just was drawn towards using my voice. I was always singing around the house. It's just something that I would, that I fell into. I always wanted to be in a band, and here we are.
Why don't you come on over that way?
Yeah, so I'm definitely the last person to join the group. They were all connected before, and they found me on Instagram, I believe. So I was posting all my music stuff. So I did join pretty recently. It was fun, definitely. I'm used to I've played with a lot of different artists around the area, so I'm used to just being like thrown into the fire, into a new group, and just trying to figure out all the new music. I learn really well by ear, so you can throw whatever you want at me, and I just kind of am like, okay, just keep calm about it. And I like experiencing like other people's genres of music they really like, so I'm very like a free floater, so.
We would come to the studio once or twice a week, and we had a list of songs that maybe about 30 songs that we put together, and we just kind of ran through it every week, trying to build that chemistry. I mean, I had a natural chemistry with Ben. That was pretty easy, but just bringing the band as a whole together took a lot of work, but we've really grown, and it's only gotten better over the years.
Since we started this project, I really just do like the challenge of, getting, a little bit better in certain areas with my technique and things like that. Getting inspired by, other musicians in the local scene. I learn something after every show, things that I could do better, little improvements that I can make.
I have been playing the instruments I play now for around 15 years now. So the piano I started very early. Guitar I didn't pick up until high school, so I always like to just learn every instrument I can. I just love it so much. Like, it's such a passion of mine. Even if no one cared or was listening to me, I'd still be playing piano. It's just something that I've always loved to do. But I think it really has brought me outside of myself. Like, I used to be very shy. I used to have a hard time communicating with people, and music was something that I could really speak through.
I picked up a guitar probably around maybe 10 or 11. I started taking lessons. I found the lessons to be kind of boring, so I kind of gave up on it for a few years. And then I just started listening to kind of the classic rock stuff, and that inspired me to pick it up again. And so I started teaching myself how to play, basically.
I have been playing for 25 years. I got my first snare drum when I was 9 years old, and I've been playing ever since. As a kid, I remember just like playing in the basement with my brother and my dad, always just blasting music on max volume. He used to bring me to concerts as a kid. Like Bruce Springsteen was like a religion in my house, so that really got me to where I am today. He's still a big influence nowadays.
My parents signed me up for piano lessons when I was 9, and I was pretty good at it. So I kind of always was better at music than other stuff, than sports and whatever else, so I just kind of kept going with it. My favorite has become the bass, because you get to be part of the rhythm section, you're part of the drums, but you're also locking in with the guitar, with the melody, so you have to play a part in the sort of like harmonic structure of the song, but you're also playing rhythm at the same time. So that's what I loved about playing drums. I still get to do that. With bass, you know, you can still direct and control the harmony of the song and all that other stuff too. So to me, it's the best of all worlds.
My mom always used to listen to Alanis Morissette when I was growing up, and so when I write songs, I step into that. I'm also a poet, so I like to, with my style of writing, I have a lot of like mantra like lyrics. I love her songwriting because it's so raw, and Aretha Franklin, Stevie Nicks, of course. They inspired me as a child, and growing up in a household where that music was always playing, I've definitely integrated it into my own vocals when I've been stepping into my voice, and they've just been, backing me, and it's been an experience. So.
I remember like watching High School Musical and being like, I need to be like this. Like I need to sing and I need to play music. So definitely from a young age, I knew that I wanted to pursue that.
It's really hard to describe. I get asked a lot, like, what kind of genre are you? And I always say rock, because that's just like an easy answer, but it's really much more than that. There's so many different subgenres of rock that we play, and there's a lot of influences that we draw from. Sam really draws from that powerful 70s Stevie Nicks, Janis Joplin kind of vibe. I like to pull from the emo scene and like the hardcore scene that I listened to as a kid, and that's where I really got a lot of my drumming chops from just studying the records, and Ben and Jim really bring so many different elements to it. It's just, these songs are very powerful. I think they could be played like with like 25 people on stage, and they could be really big and grand. I could see it played. I could see these songs played in theaters, and I think we will.
I think music is it's such a great way to connect with other people. It's like, not only that we connect with each other when we're performing, but every time we go out and perform, we connect with all of those people. It's just such an incredible experience. It's kind of addictive, I think. Even if we're just playing at a bar where people didn't even know we're gonna be there, whatever, and they start getting into it, the energy that we sort of exchange with them, I know that sounds like corny, but it's just the experience of it it's just awesome, and especially now that we're getting to transition a little more into originals. Like we, have played tons of covers, transitioning a little more into the originals is just like a deeper level.
My greatest motivation right now is the originals. It's really keeping me focused, it's a nice distraction from day-to-day life. I really like to be able to step back from everything else going on and focus on the music, focus on the band, focus on that project, and being able to produce this amazing record is just really keeping me going, and I'm just ready to keep it growing and play bigger stages and bigger venues, ready for Madison Square Garden, and then just kind of spread from there, play in the Northeast, hit New York, Boston, Philadelphia, and would love to hit the West Coast someday, the Midwest, Europe, Asia, you never know.
I would love to go on tour. That's kind kind of what this is driving towards. I'm along for the ride. I think that whatever happens will happen. I certainly would love to travel around with these songs and play for different audiences and really get these songs out there.
I want to travel. I want to go on tour. I want to spread this music worldwide because it's just, we've really invested so much love into it, and I know that love deserves to be heard. And I want to have that experience with the audience, and we've been, as we've been growing and the audience has been really taking in that experience, we've been seeing that more and more, and I just want to continue on that path and travel across the world. And yeah.
I hope that we go on tour, that European tour. But yeah, I just hope to have fun and just continue growing as a musician and person and bandmate. That's all you can ask for, I guess.
I have no expectations at all. I'm just doing the best every day that we can do. What I would like to do is keep playing better venues, keep kind of leveling up the venues that we're playing, focus more on the originals, get into building the brand of Modern Refuge as an original act, which I think is happening with the songs being released on Spotify. Some of the shows that we've been playing are more original focused. So that for me would be, if I had to have a concrete goal, but I try to just come with no expectations, and we're always doing the best that we can. Just let it happen.
Any moves that we've made with this band have been intentional. So I think when we pour all of our love and passion into the music when we're performing live and into our studio recordings. And when people come to see us, I think that that's what they feel. And because we bring that power to the stage. And Laurel's just, joined Modern Refuge recently, and it's just it's just layering that chemistry and making it more beautiful. And I think it's felt by the audience.
It's a love language for sure. There's a lot of love. It's not just a show up and play type of experience. It's very deep rooted. It's like decades of friendship, and that really helps drive us.
I think my favorite memory, and I actually videoed it, I wasn't playing. We did a Fleetwood Mac and Beatles tribute show. And people were really into the Fleetwood Mac. I didn't know it was gonna be like that. People were super into the Fleetwood Mac. And we played Landslide, which was just Vin and Sam. And we had a disco ball thing at the show with the light was spinning around the room. And it was just cool. We played that song, and it was you could hear a pin drop in the room. Everybody was just locked in. That was so cool. I stopped and videoed it because I wasn't playing. I took my phone out, I gotta capture this. It was a really cool moment, and we get moments like that, but that was a super memorable one. I would say Pearl. It has that moment for me when I listen to it and when we play it. It has that moment of being lost, and it comes all the way down to where people do, it kind of happens already. People get a little bit silent and waiting for it to happen. And then it comes back and hits harder afterwards, so.
When I'm writing songs, I don't necessarily write, I come up with characters and they're almost more of a narrative. I like to write stories. I think that Pearl is kind of about a person that is finding it difficult to move on from something. It could be a relationship, it could be, it's kind of this universal feeling of not being able to move forward for whatever reason. You're kind of stuck. I think the song is cathartic because I think at the end, the character of the song decides that it's best for him or her to move forward, and you know, to different experiences. And I think it's definitely written so it has these moments of where it kind of settles down, it's very stripped down, and then there's like these very couple of like build-ups. It's a very like emotional kind of roller coaster of a song, I guess. So yeah, it is a song that I'm pretty proud of.
That song is called Wave Empire. We got the idea, we were inspired by a trip to Aruba and wrote that song this year. It's recorded and out, so whatever streaming service you use, go listen to Wave Empire.
I mean, being from New Haven is really cool. We have a deep jazz, punk base in New Haven, and I think it's only growing. Like the genres are expanding in New Haven. There's a lot of lively venues that are coming up and coming, and people are just craving the music right now, which I think is something is happening. Something's in the air where people are just yearning for that experience and going out and connecting to each other in the audience, connecting to the bands. And New Haven is definitely an awesome place to be right now if you want music.
I think that the amount of work we put in really pays off. Like you could really tell. There's a lot of great bands locally that we love to go see and support. But I think that we really have a true chemistry at this point, and we really are able to feed off each other on stage. We know each other's cues. We know how to speak to each other through music and through our instruments instead of, there's a lot of unspoken elements to it that we don't have to talk about, and we just kind of know inertly.
I hope that people have a very cathartic experience. It's very, Modern Refuge's music is very, I don't know, to be calming but also thought-provoking. The lyrics are very thought-provoking, interesting, a lot of like drumming, full sound, big band feeling to it. So, and a little bit of hippie vibes too. So if you're into that stuff, I really hope that people can listen and be very immersed in it and just also have a good time too, because we have a lot of fun songs. So.
I've always felt like as a musician, if I could inspire one person to see me playing and go, I want to do that, that's a success for me. And I don't care if you get anything else out of it. I mean, if people can latch onto the lyrics and the emotions of the songs, which is nothing to do with the bass, right? But if they can latch onto that stuff, I think you can change people's lives through music, and that happens all the time. For me, I just think about it, if I can play in a way that serves the song, that lets that happen, that's kind of my goal.
Yeah, I hope it's just an escape from, and yeah, I look at music as therapy. It's definitely my therapy. So when we put out our music, I hope it can provide that kind of feeling for others when they listen to it.
I hope people are, moved by it in some way. I think that I feel like I want these songs. I think these songs do pack this emotional punch, and I hope people do leave the shows feeling, some sort of like catharsis or whatever, and people come up to us after, and people have really nice things to say about our original songs. We kind of go to these places, and sometimes we just play songs that are sets that are entirely original songs, and people really respond to them. I just want people to be moved and feel that energy that that I think we're putting out. It's definitely an exchange of energy.
A lot of people, I'm trying to stay humble when I say this, but a lot of people come up to say, oh, you guys really have it. You guys really have something going on. And I take that to heart, and I believe it, and because I feel it. It just kind of backs up what I feel.
It's definitely, it's not just the the shows. It's like, now it's become a lot about networking and reaching out to different venues. It's focusing on the marketing side of things. How do we, building up our brand, things like that. And all that takes a lot of time. We've been working really hard on this album. It's a lot of late nights at the studio, a lot of sessions where we're just working on like a 10-second part of a song, and it takes like 4 hours, yeah, it's that level of wanting to be precise and wanting to shoot for a very specific type of sound. It's a lot of love and care, but it's also all this other stuff that is not necessarily, performing or practicing. It's all this other thought and energy that goes into building up the brand and things like that. So.
Yeah, we're definitely working really hard to get all these things together. It's a long process, and it's a lot of hard work and long days in the studio, but it's so fun at the same time and just really rewarding once you hear it and like all the little things that have been put into it. So.
When we were in the studio in Nashville, we just kind of wrote a song like right there on the spot, which has turned out to be one of our favorites, right? And then we kind of came up with another one real quick and then went and recorded it at another studio here in Connecticut. So it's a combination of stuff that's existed for a long time, and we're just kind of like finalizing it or wrapping it up, and stuff that we're just creating so quickly right now. It's just coming together, which is part of what's so cool to me and like magical about this band, is that sometimes things just happen. It's just coming together. Very cool.
We always kind of brand it as we started branding it as like the Modern Refuge experience. And I think that it really is like that. When we started as a cover band, but it was always like we wanted to kind of take people by surprise, when we were setting up. Like sometimes, you'll go to a restaurant or bar and the band will be sort of playing sort of background music. Our thing from the very beginning was like, let's just take over the night. Let's make this like loud. Let's get the lights. Let's high energy on stage, and people really love it. It's like, it's people like, oh, I wasn't expecting this tonight. So I really want people to see us in our element, which is live at a live show.
I think on stage, the authenticity and the rawness and the chemistry between us, the deep chemistry, is felt. People have often talked about the cathartic experience they've had, and just feeling, moved by our performance, and like getting people up off, their seats and onto their feet and dancing and singing with us and just feeling that energy, and just being in the moment. I think a lot of people have talked about the presence they feel when Modern Refuge hits the stage, and it makes me really happy to hear.
We're all about the energy. The onstage chemistry is great. I really want people to come out and see us live. Yeah, get the full experience.
You can, look at that. There you go. The wire in the ceiling.
That's a good thing to look at.
Wait, I just looked up there at the wrong time.
There is no wrong wire.
The other wire, idiot. Look at all those waters just lined up.
Look at those water guns.
I think Tom did that. He does that.
Tom definitely does.
Jim, right in between the ladies, Jim.
Yeah.